Hey everyone, I just want to check in, see how many of you are feeling the Halloween hangover. If you have kids, our school district thankfully had them take the day off today. I'm a few minutes late for a coffee with Cammie. I hope that everybody's got their coffee. I surely need it. I've got the Halloween hangover. The kids also do. So we might see them run in and join us. We're going to go over today the 8 myths of accountants that, everyone believes that accountants are. And we're just going to myth bust them. We're just going to tackle them. So, number 1, who has ever been told accountants are boring? I hear it every single day. Accountants are boring, accountants are boring. I am not boring. I'm an accountant and I'm not boring. I jump up and down, I hug, I love, I just give everyone that is one of my clients hugs. I cheer them on, I'm jumping up and down, I'm just really excited for them and their growth. I am the least boring accountant there is. So, how many of you guys are feeling not boring? And maybe you are boring, and that's okay, but what does that even really mean? I always say I bring spice to these businesses. So it's just like a characteristic that people expect us to have is to be the boring accountant. And I think that let's change that. That's a complete myth. How many of us are jumping up and down? How many of us are? Comment below if you're jumping up and down with your work. And if you're not, then you might be working for the wrong person or in the wrong industry. Number 2, so the second myth that we've got that accountants are, and we're going to bust it, is we all know how to do taxes. How many of you have been asked, oh my gosh, you're an accountant, can you do my taxes? All the time. So the truth is there's so many different accountants out there, right? And focusing on your niche, so some of you may be tax accountants, but let's focus on, like, are you managerial accounting? Are you a bookkeeper? Are you CFO? Are you controller? What is your specific niche that you are providing? And then when people ask you, hey, will you do my taxes? Be confident in knowing that, like, no, that's not what I do, and have referrals out, be able to refer out to those that do have the experience, that are able to provide a high level quality service to those who need it. Okay, so number 3. Okay, I learned this by my very, very first job working for the city of Bellingham. Number 3, so accountants don't or shouldn't make mistakes. So when I got that job, I was so excited, but I was also very, very nervous that I was going to mess up the entire city's accounting system, which couldn't be further from the truth, because there's so many things that they implement and put into place that we're able to catch errors. We all make errors, and there's ways to fix them, and we do journal entries. We just want to ensure that they're not material and that it's not, so double checking our work. And of course, there are things that we're going to make errors, but how do we reduce those errors, and how do we implement systems in place to ensure that they're not material and they're not causing our customers or the people that we work for huge risks or issues at the end of the day. So let's move on to number 4. So this is a huge myth I'm breaking. So you must have a degree or CPA license to be a great accountant and charge a premium price. Not true. So I have my bachelor's in accounting. Yes, I have my master, my MBA. I actually went and took my MBA to be able to take the CPA exam. it's on my list of to-dos, but now slowly now it's like I'm realizing I don't actually need it to provide this level of service that all of these businesses are needing. So I'm charging what the CPAs are charging, and most of the time I'm providing a higher level service than the CPAs are. And so I just really want to challenge your guys' mindset in the fact that that is a complete myth. Like, as long as you guys know your stuff and you're educated and you're able to really go that extra mile and provide that extra value to your clients and to the people that you work for, then that having that isn't a bad thing. I don't want to say that. Like, having it, have it. If you have it, awesome. And if you want to go get it, awesome. And there are people out there in the industry that look at that title as having a CPA behind your name is very important to them, and they might not hire you without it. But that myth of you need to have it in order to charge the premium price, it's a complete myth. So let's change that, and let's really get educated in the parts that we can help these small businesses grow and gain in their net profits so that they are able to move forward quicker. And, taking the CPA exam is I don't know about every other state, but in Washington, it's a good 18 months you have to get it done in 18 months. So I just want to change that myth in your guys' head to know that, like, you know what? I don't have to be that to charge a premium price. I just need to be able to provide the highest quality value to the clients that I'm working for. And by doing that, you can charge a premium price. So number 5, the 5th myth that we have is that it will take you years to get to a management level position. It shouldn't take you years. I mean, unless say you're working for a company and it's really hard to move forward in getting to the next level because nobody is offering you the training or giving you more things to do and things that you need to learn to grow in your career. If you're in that position, then you're going to have to go out and you're going to have to learn these things on your own. So it shouldn't take you years. If it is taking you years, it's because you are maybe potentially depending on the employer that you're working for to teach you those skills. But I really want to challenge you to step outside and get what you need, figure out what you're missing and what you need, and maybe ask them if they're willing to give you some training on that. And if they're not, then let's figure out how to get it so that you're not waiting and you're not trying to get to that management level position and waiting 10 years later. I really want to be able to encourage you that you can advance a lot quicker by gaining the knowledge that you need and then showing it and proving it and jumping up and down that you've actually made a difference in whoever you're working for, that you've made a difference in their financials and you're confident and now you're kicking butt. So that's the myth that I want you guys to just challenge. You don't have to wait those 10, 15 years to get into that position. As long as you know what you're doing and you've got the confidence to do it, you're going to kick it. You're going to kick butt. So number 6, the 6th myth of accountants that I have uncovered is only large businesses need CFO level accounting support. And that is 100% not true. So you see the smaller businesses need it, but they can't afford a full-time CFO. And so there's this gap that we found where, you've got a small business and they've got a bookkeeper. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're doing their own accounting. And so you'll walk in and you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, what did I get myself into? But as you're working and moving forward, you kind of keep your mind open as to, like, look at what these small businesses are missing out on because they can't afford the outsourced CFO services or internal CFO full time. They can't afford it. So they're missing out on the gap between the bookkeeper and the tax advising. So they're running, the bookkeeper's getting all the data entered, but then there's no analysis of the data that's being entered, which is not allowing them to analyze it and be able to make decisions quickly to move forward, maybe cash flow issues. And I'm always stuck on that 82% of businesses that go out of business due to cash flow issues. So if we can take that gap from the bookkeeper to the tax advisor, fill it, advise our clients or our companies to do some necessary things that we see that they don't, and then they take the lead on that, then we're able to take their business, their small business, and grow it into maybe a corporate, like a larger business that could afford a high level CFO full time. And that position is critical. So when these small businesses are working without the knowledge of that type of skilled professional, they may struggle more than others. And another statistic that I read that I actually posted on the group yesterday is that 60% of businesses, small businesses, are either breaking even or losing. So there's only 40% of businesses right now that are actually making money. So my goal here is to educate you guys on these myths, and actually let's together as accountants or business owners figure out how we can educate, implement a good system in place to be able to get those statistics down. They're really gross, like 60%. I mean, they all have bills to pay. They're all running a business, but also running a household. And if they're not making money, then that's devastation. So if they can, and it's also hard for them to then hire someone that's high level. But we did have a client who did hire us where they were negative. They were in the negative, like $80,000. And it was a risk. It was a risk to hire us. But in a year, we flipped it around to a positive $100,000. So only large businesses needing a CFO level accounting support, that complete myth. Change that thought. Every single business needs at least some type of that support to help in the middle between the bookkeeper and the tax advising. All right, number 7. As contract accountants, we can train non-accountants to do our job. So I've tried this because people want to save money and they want to learn how they can do their own accounting. And I have tried really hard to train them to do that. And I found now that that is not something that we can do. They didn't go to school for accounting. They didn't, it's not their passion. A lot of times they want to do it, but it's not their skill, or they don't have their mind doesn't go there. And so they're going to fail. It's going to cost them more money. We don't want to lead anyone down the road of failure. We want to ensure that they're doing the best that they can. And if they're in a business of providing mechanics or creating crafts, that they're able to focus on that, and we're able to say, we don't feel comfortable training you in that because we want you to be focusing on what you're really, really good at. That's going to make you money, and we are going to assist you in your accounting because we're the professional accountants. And by doing that, the leverage, like, you don't want to be spending your time over here, you want to be spending your time here, and we can leverage what you're doing by giving you that increased value. So myth number 8. So this is the last myth that we've got. Remote accountant or CFO won't work for large businesses. Not true. So we do a lot of our clients are remote based. Even the local ones we do remote. So if you're thinking of maybe opening up a business offering this service, the mindset of, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to be there. There's a structure that's available that you can set up that you're able to provide these small businesses with the needs that they have to be able to be more successful. And I am really excited to share all of those little pieces in our group and connect with you guys. And if you have questions about how to do that, post it in our group, our private group, and even on Powell Business or Powell Accounting Solutions. We just changed the name, so I'm still stuck on Powell Business Solutions. But I'm really excited that everyone is able to just go on this journey with me. Coffee with Cammie every Friday, 10 o'clock. Sorry I was late today, but it's the Halloween hangover. I don't know how many of you guys have kiddos, but my daughter has a really bad reaction to the red food coloring, and she wanted to be the scary twins of The Shining. So her and her sister were that, and we covered her with the red blood, and at the end of the day, now she's covered in red dye, her whole entire body, and she's freaking out. So if any of you have kids that have like that red dye thing, you can relate. It's a rough day. So we're the Halloween hangover over here. Thank you for joining me. If you have any comments on these 8 myths that I just busted for you, post it in the comments, and I will see you guys next Friday. Exciting. Have an awesome weekend.